Hey guys, it is April 20th, 2023 today. Our trail, I wanted to try this Artic diesel out on the trails. I took it around the house a little bit, but our trails here in Island Pond, Vermont don't actually open up for almost 2 more months. So we're going to head down about an hour south of here, a little over an hour, Littleton, New Hampshire, and ride the rail trail, see how she does. Let's fire it up. Well, we got one stop before we hit the trails here. Get this filled up and we'll head back out. All right, we made it. So they got they got a little rental place here too. It doesn't look like they're open right now, but you can rent ATVs and snowmobiles. But anyways, let's get this thing unloaded. I guess, see how this thing trail rides. Check out a new trail. We got a full tank of fuel. Our fuel gauge says we don't, but I filled this thing up to the top. So, but anyways, we'll see. Reset this trip. It should be about 20 miles one way, I believe. So let's get going. High range, two-wheel drive. A little breezy out today, but it's a lot warmer than it was at home, so that's good. Probably should have brought a jacket that zipped. Turn our lights on. And so we hit the pavement here for a minute. We're doing like 35, 36. So, you know, I'm actually barely touching the throttle. That's full throttle, but there's not a lot of difference between the two. This is, you know, that much governed down, I guess. So, what's nice about this trail system is it's literally the only trail system around me anyways that's open. Our trails, like I said, don't open for almost 2 more months, June 15th or 16th, something like that. But there is some other ones in Vermont that open up May 15th. So I'll be hitting those pretty soon, but I wanted to take this thing for a ride today, and this is the only thing, you know, even somewhat near me. So we're gonna go ahead and give our hand signal here. Very sharp corner. So yeah, it's just a rail trail here, but it's kind of nice. I've been on it one other time. It's like I said, straight shot. It's just under 20 miles, 19 something, and in the wintertime it's a snowmobile trail, but what's nice about this is it's open all year round, so that's pretty handy. You can ride the 4 ATVs on it anytime. I'm not sure if it's open to dirt bikes or not. I believe it is. Don't quote me on that though, but yeah, I want to see how good a fuel this thing is. My gauge doesn't work properly, or maybe I had that much foam in the tank, but you follow the river pretty much the whole way on this trail. A couple of nice views. One thing is though, it gets dusty. You know, when you're riding single, it's fine, but if you ride with a few people, the person in the back will be black by the time they're done. So yeah, very casual riding. It's you know, very, you know, if you got if you're looking for a beginner trail and you're in New Hampshire, Vermont, this right here, Littleton, New Hampshire, it goes from Littleton, New Hampshire, all the way down to Woodsville, New Hampshire. So you could have started either end, but Littleton's closer for me, so I start here and then I go south, and there's no loops or nothing. It's just one way, and then you gotta go back. So, but it's still nice to get out on the trail. You can see this thing cruises very nicely. It's actually not loud. It's quieter when it's riding at 34. Of course, that's not quite right. We're probably doing 30 maybe. But it's actually quieter than a lot of gas-powered ATVs that I've been on. You know, cruising speed anyways. When this thing's idling, it's noisy. But I'm curious. My Sportsman 455 single-cylinder diesel, that thing gets amazing fuel mileage. You know, this will be what, 20, 40 miles, so that it wouldn't even take a gallon of fuel for that machine. This is bigger. This is a twin-cylinder 700, so I'm curious to see what it's going to be like. We'll find out, I guess. One thing I can tell you about this cat is the handling is kind of squirrely on it, is what I'm finding. You know, it had the tracks on it before. Everything's pretty tight up here. So they must have just replaced everything before I got it, because you know, the tie rod ends have very, very little play in them. Bearings are good, but it's squirrely. Make sure there's nobody behind me. But you know, it kind of, you turn and it wants to nosedive, basically. It wants to send it. So I got to do a little work to that front end. I don't know, you know, I don't know what's going on with it, but I checked the alignment and it seemed good. I just threw a string around all 4 tires, and I mean, it was a little off. I adjusted it to 1/4 inch toe in, and it's still, something's still going on here, so I don't know. You know, it seems to want to nosedive, so it could be weak shocks, I guess. So as you're going to notice, there is a lot of gates around here. They don't want anything big coming in these trails. But so on an ATV, you're fine. You can blow through there, no problem. However, you know, with like my Can-Am Maverick, I brought that down here, and you are crawling through, almost touching both sides. It will fit a 64-inch vehicle, but you're pushing it, you know. You might have an inch on each side or something like that, but it's when you get off, you know, to an angle a little bit, that's when you're really gonna you're gonna scrape a little. Yeah, no, it's you know, it's nice out, nice and sunny, but I'll tell you what, my hands are starting to get a little cold. Should have brought some gloves. I always do that. I think it was like, well, it was in the high 20s when I left this morning, or maybe 30. It was somewhere. I mean, it was snowing a little bit, but tonight, when I got down here, you know, we're talking it's 40, 44, 45 degrees or something Fahrenheit, so it's not bad. This is a multi-use recreational rail trail, so walking, biking, ATVs, you know, no on-road vehicles. So, but in the wintertime, like I said, it's snowmobiles too. In the wintertime, you can go a lot further than in the summertime. Summertime, you're limited to this 20-mile, and then it's a dead end. There's a few little loops around, but I think they're closed during, like we call mud season, it's right now. But the actual rail trail itself here stays pretty dry the whole time. A nice K&M with tracks on it over there. Probably should be looking at this view, but I look at the ATVs and stuff. I'm telling you, this is, you know, a lot of people said this is not a trail machine, and I know why. It's not fast. I mean, we're doing 33. That's full throttle. You know, it'll gain speed, but it's definitely not a fast machine. But trail speeds, it works. It works fine. So yeah. Should bring the fishing pole. I'd need a New Hampshire license, I guess, to go fishing, but should do that someday. But yeah, so this trail, you know, goes through a couple little towns, goes through Lisbon, and I'm not sure the other town. I gotta get a mirror on this thing. I hate that when you don't have a mirror, you're always looking back, you know, make sure nobody's behind you. But definitely one thing that all ATVs should have, I think, if you're gonna trail ride them. You know, if you're not going fast, or, you know, you got to line up behind you. It's just courteous to pull over and let them by. Yeah, so, you know, we're really not going to test the suspension today, obviously. This is like riding back roads. But as far as, you know, speed-wise, you know, it does okay on the trails. So you can work this thing all day long and bring her out, and I bet it's not going to use much fuel. We'll see. It's not going to be as good as that Polaris, but I'm guessing 35 miles per gallon or something. The Polaris, I'm telling you, the book says 45, 46, and I get better than that. So, you know, that's if it says in the book 45 or 46 miles per gallon if you're like hammering it all the time. It says heavy use or something. And just trail riding like this, you'd probably get about 50 miles per gallon. It's crazy. But diesel fuel is quite a bit more than gasoline, so you can never have the best of everything. But thing is actually, I gotta get that front end fixed, because this thing actually cruises nice. The seat's comfortable. It's a little bit wide, you know, where your legs go, versus some of the newer machines like the Sportsman XPs. Those are it's like riding a dirt bike almost. And then the K&M Outlander, those are fairly skinny, not as much as the Polaris, but it's, you know, it's not bad. Comfortable for me anyways. Handlebars, so one thing something I don't, you know, and it could have something to do with these shocks. If the shocks are a little worn, maybe that's why it's doing the nosedive. But this machine just sits like this, and you feel it, you know, you kind of hunched over a little bit. I wish the bars were up more, or that front end, I gotta let my hands warm up, where the front end was lifted a little bit. We can adjust the shocks a little. Let's see. I mean, they rebound decent, but I don't know. Something funny is going on with that steering. Get back on the trail here. Told you there's a lot of gates. Grass is really greening up down here. So in the wintertime, they open up these center gates here for the snowmobiles, so you can you don't have to worry about clocking them. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I'd say there's nothing wrong with this, bringing this thing trail riding. If your buddies are all, 50-mile-an-hour riders, well, you'll just have to have them stop at the intersection every now and then. Throttle pull is actually pretty stiff on this thing compared to the gas version. I'm sure you could put a different weight spring in there on the governor, but it's definitely a little stiff. This might not be the most entertaining video for you guys, but hey, I figured I'd bring you along on the trail, and I'll bring you along on the whole trail. Might as well. Like I said, follows the river the whole way. Nice big river. Nice pond there. I got heated hand grips. Those are nice. I wish the throttle was heated too. I thought it was, but apparently it's not. So this right here is one of those little loops I was talking about, but as you can see, it's closed right now. Those bumps there, this thing just wants to go all over the place. This little intersection, I believe, is just for snowmobiles. Yeah, pretty sure. Nice day out for walking. We certainly won't be using four-wheel drive on this trail. Like you said, yeah, it's just nice to get out. Another month or so, I'd be able to do some of the other trails around Vermont. Not Island Pond, but Newport Derby opens up, I think May 15th. So that's right around the corner. Try to unthaw that thumb for a minute. Looks like we're coming into our first town since Littleton, anyways. I believe this is Lisbon. Nice steep bank, you wouldn't want to go down there. Man, crazy how much greener it is down here. It's only, I don't know, 50 miles or so from my place, south of my place. One thing nice about New Hampshire is you don't need your helmets on ATVs. I really do hate wearing these things a lot of the times, but to get an actual good video recording with my voice anyways, you gotta have a helmet, full face of that. So it you know, when it's cool out it's not too bad, but when it's hot out, oh boy, I'd prefer not to have one. You know, I get that front end worked out, whatever's going on there. This would be a decent machine. I would prefer a little more power, but hey, it gets the job done. Ooh, Village Pizza. Non-ethanol fuel. That's one problem with this is you know, a lot of your gas stations or fuel stations on the trail are gas stations. They don't have diesel fuel, so that's but I mean, I bet you could go quite a few miles. We'll see. We've already been 11 miles according to the odometer here, or trip meter. So So we are over halfway. There's there's a couple nice views up here. Got a few people out enjoying the rail trail today. Now, if you want to horse around on your machines, which is fun to do sometimes, this is not the certainly not the trail to do it. There's a lot of people, a lot of gates, really dusty. It goes by a few different towns. You don't want to kick up too much dust for people. But if you just wanted to get out and do, 40 miles, not quite, in a day, say right now, nice little trail. Kind of neat riding your machine right through the center of town. Well, not center of town, but you know what I mean. Going through the lumber yard here. Looks like a scrap yard there, metal scrap. I don't know the area too good down here. Like I said, I've been one other time. Ooh, 10 mile an hour speed limit up here. So, see, the diesel is perfect for this trail. I'm telling you, we got a couple wheelers down there, Hondas. Old Honda 350 Foreman. Those things are tough machines. And yet another gate. Nice tunnel. You gotta rev your machine up when you go through them, right? This stuff doesn't look like it would be too dusty. Actually, it's not. It's where you get into the loose. You can tell really like sandy areas that kick up a lot of dust. I don't believe, I haven't met another machine on the trail. Of course, we're middle of the week here, Thursday. If you your work schedule allows you to, best time to ride is during the week. You don't have all the traffic like on the weekends. Same thing with snowmobiling. Oh, there's just so many people on the trails. these bumps, this thing is just, you know, there's something with that front end going on. It bounces, well, a lot more than it should. My thumb needs a break again. You know, if I had a heated thumb, I'd be good to go. Heated thumb throttle. But so what's nice about starting in Littleton, if you start in Littleton, you know, I actually don't know what the rules are, where you can ride in Littleton. Maybe you can ride in town to get to some services, but I'm not positive. I know that, you know, you can start in Littleton, where we just parked, and ride down this rail trail, and, you know, halfway you can stop at the little store back there, or Village Pizza, or you can go all the way down the end of this rail trail to Woodsville, and you can, you know, there's a few different restaurants and services there. It'll bring you off into the Dollar General parking lot, I believe it is. Nice little bar and grill across the street. I think they need more gates. So as far as this machine goes, I got, you know, the fuel is still turned up, but, you know, unless you're hammering on it, you know, there's no smoke coming out the back. I got the stock muffler back on it because, well, the trail systems do not like that. They don't like modified exhaust. You get a pretty good hefty fine in Vermont and New Hampshire anyways. I'm not sure elsewhere, but I'm sure other places have similar restrictions. So, nice and quiet ride. Yeah, my fuel gauge never went to full. Strange. Like I said, maybe there was some, you know, diesel fuel does foam up, but I thought I did it slow enough to where it wouldn't. This tank's located in the back, basically under the seat, kind of. So it's a little hard to see. The filler neck's over by the fender. There's an ATV, possibly headed up to the trail. Nice bridge here. This really would be a nice trail to bring your fishing pole along with you. Gotta be some fish in there. I've never fished it. I would imagine there would be. Ooh, looks like the trail's kind of eroding away there. "30 miles an hour is where this thing likes to be. I mean, barely touching the throttle, nice and quiet. These things do get a lot of bad rep about being slow and stuff, but how fast do you really need to go? I know, we all like to go fast. That's why I want to turbo this thing. But I don't know. We'll see. Thumb's gonna need a break once again. It is warming up outside, but it's still a little cool. Definitely a nice little trail. Hoping to do some more trail riding this summer. Maybe we'll see if you guys like this video or not. We'll see how many of you made it this far. We're almost 17 miles into the trail. Probably, I don't know, half hour, 40 minutes. So, we'll see. I might bring you along on some other trails. There's actually a nice, some nice little falls up here. Wow, right there by that covered bridge. Yeah, another spot here. Connecticut Valley Snowmobile Club. And another 10-mile-an-hour section. There's some old train tracks right through there. Path Falls. Pretty neat. Yeah, there's the little falls. Ah, this is worn away quite a bit. Oh, check it out for a minute. Nice views. You know, there's not a lot of spots like this on this trail system, but hey, there's a few. Couple different things to see. You follow the river down the whole way. Back on the trails. Finish this up here. I don't think we got too much longer to go. Oh. No, for as rough as this thing idles, and you know, as noisy, clattery as this little 686 Lombardini engine idles and stuff, it's amazing how smooth it is driving. It's there's no vibration in the handlebars whatsoever. Nice and smooth, quiet. It's you would never guess it if you heard this thing idling and but so this thing is certainly at least rail trail capable. If I still got it, you know, this summer, we'll see if it's actually trail capable. You know, with the design of the alternator and stuff, you really don't want to bring it through mud or anything like that anyways. This is good trails for it. Speed limit is 25. I thought it was 35. But our speedometer is off a little bit. So. Now the bridge. This one's quite a ways up in the air. like the bridge for the interstate. We're at right now 19.6 miles. Probably not quite that much, actually, because of our difference in our speedometer, but it's gonna be a pretty good sized brush fire. Definitely make it a little quicker when you're on a ATV versus a side-by-side. You gotta really squeeze in those gates. It almost makes it not fun anymore because of how many there is. ATV is not a big deal, but I like my side-by-sides, but there's something about hopping on an ATV, and it's just, it's completely different. I don't know, if you haven't rode them both, you might think, yeah, it's the same, but it's really not. Riding four-wheelers or ATVs are just way different. You're way more, I don't know, you're driving the machine instead of the machine's driving you, basically. The side-by-side, you sit down in, it's like driving a car, long stretches. When you do a long ride, you do a 12-14 hour ride, you're going to be beat up on an ATV, whereas the side-by-side, not so much. The only thing I like, I like a lot of things about the ATVs, but one thing when we're talking about comfort is, your tailbone gets a little sore, I think, on the side-by-sides after riding all day, because you don't have support from any support from your legs, because they're not planted on the ground like these, like the ATVs. But I guess it could be personal preference, but they're nice. Side-by-sides are nice for bringing along the family. That big four-seater. We stuff a car seat in there, my father, my wife, me, and we can all fit in there comfortably. Now the bridge, very well maintained trail. Really is. Mill Street crossing. It's quite the bridge. This thing has decent engine braking. I don't think I've applied the brakes at all. Yeah, I probably have, but very little on this ride today. There's a turn that sneaks up on you. You can go, yeah, right here. So this is where we're stopping here. You can go straight here, but it's a dead end. Brings you a little further into town, just different places. This is the one that I know, not Dollar General, Job Lots, Ocean State Job Lots. But there's a nice little restaurant across the street over there at the All Seasons Plaza. But there's a few different places. Another Village Pizza here. Park right here and head on over. That was the end of the trail ride. That was a long one. Let's see. 56-minute video. I don't know. We'll see if you guys are getting all that. But all right, so we ended up doing 45 miles on the trip. Let's see how many gallons it takes here. Right up to the top. 1.18 gallons. So that's got to be close to 40 miles per gallon or so. So pretty good. Pretty good.